Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess and this is Comcast Newsmakers coming to you from the Detroit Regional Chamber Mackinac Policy Conference being taped at the Grand Hotel. Our topic today is Michigan's Early Childhood Business Plan. Joining us now to talk about it is Sterling Sperin, the President and CEO of the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
To begin with, what exactly is the W.K. Kellogg Foundation?
Well, the Kellogg Foundation was started in 1930 by Will Keith Kellogg, who invented the cornflake in the early 1900s and started the Kellogg Cereal Company in 1906. Mr. Kellogg was actually became an entrepreneur at the age of 46 when he started the company. 24 years later, in 1930, he gave most of his personal fortune to create the Kellogg Foundation. And 80 years later, we're still giving away money. We're now the 5th largest private foundation in the United States.
Wow. And
the largest private foundation in Michigan, and focused on the entire state of Michigan.
And focused today on something called the Michigan Early Childhood Business Plan. I find it intriguing that early childhood and business plan are even in the same sentence. Why do we need a business plan for a bunch of 4-year-olds?
The entrepreneurs at yesterday's panel talked about how access to talent is one of the biggest challenges Michigan faces, and the science and evidence that's part of this business plan has become really clear that we've done all the research and development we need to do to show that the economics and science about investing in the first 1,000 days of a child's life, and especially in those first 5 years, are really critical for that child hitting kindergarten ready to learn, getting on grade level by 3rd grade, so that they go on to graduate high school and go on to college and career. We have too many kids that are walking into school not ready to learn, and it's too late. So the business plan is to get business leaders as great allies, working with government and the nonprofit sector, to say it's time we increased our public investments in early childhood, starting at birth, not starting at kindergarten.
Is this all about trying to fund preschools or make preschools more accessible for
Yes.
everyone?
There's actually 2 parts, Laurel. One part is looking at just 3- and 4-year-olds being in quality preschool. We have about 38,000 4-year-olds in the state who are eligible for state preschool, but there's no funding for them. So that's one gap, and that's not insignificant. But there's this whole 0 to 3, from birth to 3, actually those first 1,000 days, where also we have great evidence-based home visiting programs like Parents as Teachers, Nurse-Family Partnerships, that take a coaching approach to family development rather than a social worker approach. So they're there to coach parents, connect them with others, and get them on a positive track. So we do need to increase investments, and that's what's talked about yesterday. Fareed Zakaria at the plenary said, we're a consumption-based economy, we need to be an investment-based economy, and part of that is investing in early childhood.
And then certainly hopefully see that return on investment, even if it's only 15 years from now.
It's actually, it happens right away, because you almost can diagnose a kid's likelihood to graduate high school at 5 years old. That's how clear it is now. So the return on investment, James Heckman, Nobel laureate from the University of Chicago in economics, $7 return for every dollar invested in early childhood. So the economics is there, the science is there. What we don't have is someone to take a business approach and say, if there's this much return and leverage available, why aren't we doing it? So there's a notion of social impact bonds, where we could issue bonds, take that money up front, invest it in early childhood, and then as our public budgets, we don't have to incarcerate kids, teen pregnancy goes down, high school graduation goes up. The public budgets, we save all that money later on, but we've got to make the investment up front now. It's like taking a risk and starting a business. You've got to do it, and you've got to build it, and we've got great programs out there. And I think the state of Michigan, part of the governor's plan to be the comeback state is we need to do something bold and innovative, and I think early childhood's the space. And
it's not all about education, correct? There's some healthcare elements in there as well.
Yeah, it's in the education, it's connecting 0 all the way to 18 years old through the K, 0 to the K-12 system. In health, it's going horizontally. Baby goes to a well child visits. We've got pediatricians that prescribe reading, in addition to, and prescribe, actually we do a lot of work in food at the Kellogg Foundation, prescribing fresh fruits and vegetables. The halo effect of a medical provider saying, it's not just, it's an exercise, it's nutrition, it's reading. So yeah, working with the health, because the health system tends to be the one that sees these little kids.
All right, great to see the business community getting involved. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Today's Comcast Newsmaker was Sterling Sperin, the President and CEO of the W.K. Kellogg Foundation.